Hi folks, today I'm going to show you a new tripod I've got recently, and it's quite amazing how much features this little piece of equipment has to offer. So basically I was just looking for a new small tripod for my Sony camera, which I'm using to record all those video sessions. And I was using kind of deformable tripod, which you can add to different places with magnetic feet and all that stuff. But since the Sony camera is kind of not really heavy, but quite unbalanced, so you have to attach it to the rear of the camera, and if you tilt it down, it adds some kind of momentum, or it tends to fall over the head. So the center of gravity is not in the middle, it's at the end of the camera, and therefore it's sometimes a little bit hard to tilt it down and to avoid falling over. So I did some research or whatever, and I was just looking for products on Amazon, and found this little small tripod, and I'm going to provide you a couple of insights to this one. So the first impression is that this small little tripod is quite heavy, and it comes with a let's say bulky ball head, which is not really fitting to the overall appearance of this small tripod, but we come to this a little bit later. So this small tripod is really packed with a lot of features, and it's very interesting how much stuff you can engineer into such a small tripod. And as I said, the first impression, it is a little bit heavy, and especially in comparison to my camera, it may not really fit to the whole picture. But especially if you work outdoors, it's quite comfortable to have tripod which is a little bit heavier than a lighter one, because especially if it's a little bit windy, or if you have let's say a stage and you want to record the performance with musicians, and especially drums and all that stuff, very light equipment tends to be a little bit shaky, and so it's good that the tripod adds some weight to the camera as well, because this works kind of a damping mechanism. And so at a first impression, it is a tad heavy, so that's not something you put in your pocket and keep it with you all the time. So it really requires some, let's say, certain usage, so to say. And but the mechanics are really wonderful. So this is the smallest position you can use it, and I will put a GoPro for comparison, so that you see side by side what's the size of the tripod. And we even put the GoPro into a case so that we can see how this is looking like. So let's just add this one. The GoPro inside. So now we have the whole picture. So in comparison, the tripod looks indeed a little bit bulky, but it comes with a lot of features. So let's start at the beginning. So at the top we have this ball head, and so from a mechanical point of view, it is a really well built, so the movement is very smooth. It's not choppy, and there are no places where it gets loose or it's stiffer. So if you adjust the tension with this big knob, it's the same all over. So it's really good to adjust it, and even turning and all that stuff works pretty well. So the ball itself is manufactured at a very high level. And on the other side you have this so-called fixed mount knob. So actually the mounting is not really fixed in terms of speed, but in terms of being rigid. And you even got a small caliper on the top, so that you can kind of equalize your tripod. And by just turning the knob, you can remove the mounting plate. And this is very well built as well. You got some rubber pads just to keep your equipment in place. And you can't lose this little screw, which is quite normal for smaller tripods, but you can remove it if you want, so that's not an issue at all. And you have those little guidance screws just to find it, fit it back. And now we're going to attach the GoPro to it. So you can tighten it quite good with this small ring here, and then you just bend it down and attach it to your mounting plate. And it's up to you whether you're going to do it this way, or if you just mount it 90 degrees and edit this way. So whatever you want to do, and then you just tighten it. And it is really very tight, so there's no gap or something like this. It's not shaky or whatever. And if you extend it this way, then you can see what's the proportion of the whole tripod compared to the GoPro is. So I think the ball head is already covered. You can tighten it a little bit, and can put it in whatever angle you like to. And if you're happy with this, you can even tighten it even further, and it's not changing the angle of the ball head as much as you may have seen this for other cheaper ball heads. And just going to remove the GoPro for now. It's not as cumbersome. So, and the interesting thing is, especially with the legs, you have 3 different positions. So if you open this, you can bend it even further, put it back, and we'll stop here. And the next position is here. So you can place it in very different shapes and whatever you want to do. So you can put it quite flat on the floor, if you like, to have a big area. So especially on a wooden stage, for example, where you have some movement in the ground, it's good to have some coverage. So it's not just on one plank, it's really standing in a huge area. And what I did here is you have an additional adjustment in height. This is indeed a little bit loose, a little bit shaky. So this could have been manufactured a little bit better, but that's not really a complaint. It's just a remark, so to say. And the interesting thing as well is that you can even open it. Oh, it's tight. Oh, who was the last person who did this? Okay, there we go. So you can remove the head completely from the tripod, And you can even, I think I did this already, remove the bottom screw and screw it to this part just to shorten it if you don't like it to have it as long as this one. And so here the pipe, so to say, is a little bit thin in terms of thickness of the wall. So if you screw it too tight, you see a little kind of a bend, like a small burr or something like this. So it's probably not recommended to make it as fast as possible. So just put it in place and have it there with a small tightening force. So, and if you put it back in this position, as you can see, you can move it up and down. That's for fine adjustments, for example. That's quite good. And the turning is either done by loosening the ball head. So the ball head itself has some turning as well, but it's pretty tight, which isn't really a problem. And if you lock the ball head, you can't even turn it. And you have a small kind of an arrow showing you the angle to whatever reference you want to use, because there's no lock, so you can turn it even if you lose it this way. So, however, and now I think we can talk about the most exciting feature of this one. It has extendable legs. So there are actually two steps to extend the legs, either by turning this rubber ring here in the counterclockwise rotation. You can extend, let's say, the main leg, whatever. And if you turn the feet against the rubber, you can do this in 3 steps. You can extend the leg by 3 additional segments. So it's visible. And this provides a lot of possibilities, especially if you want to use this tripod in certain situations where you really have to get low to the ground, for example, or if you're using heavier equipment and you want to avoid that it tips over. You can spread the front legs and extend the rear leg as much as you like, or as it is probably proposed, you can extend all of the legs and use the tripod as one that reaches about 50 centimeters in height, and so you have a lot of freedom. You got a very small tripod if you like, but even if you want to extend it a little bit, you can go up for length like this, and this is probably a lot more than I was expecting, so to say. I thought it was a little bit shorter in total, but it is a very pleasant length, because what I tend to do is recording drum sessions for taiko drummers or for cajon drummers, and to have it quite low on the ground provides kind of a odd perspective. So you look up to people, and due to the wide angle characteristics of most action cameras nowadays, they tend to have big feet and small heads, which is a little bit ugly. But if you use a normal tripod with about, I don't know, 3 to 4 to 5 feet, something like this, 1 meter 20, 1 meter 50 or something like this, you tend to look down to the people, and you have a lot of sky, or have a lot of ceiling of the building, and so you have to tilt the camera, which provides kind of a skewed perspective as well. So having the camera somewhere in the range of 50, 60, 70 centimeters, so let's say 1 to 2 feet or something like this, you're kind of equal with the drums, the instruments, and the people are ranging from the middle of the picture in the same proportion to up and down. So, and especially the sound, if you record the sound by the camera using the built-in microphones, especially with the Sony camera, you have a very good point of, let's say, hearing, recording the sound. And therefore this small tripod is really perfect for my purpose, so to say. And especially on my desk, where it is very constricted in space, and for my recording of retro computing stuff, repairs and all that things, I need to have the camera quite close to the object, but not consuming as much space as a bigger one. So I can make the legs quite small and spread the rear leg. Then I can adjust the height as I like, and then when I put back the camera here, we can, using the ball head mechanic, we can tilt it down to 90 degrees, and even when we rise it a little bit more over the ground, then we have a good overview of the scene. And due to the own weight of this tripod, so that's quite an odd angle now. Here we go. It is not prone to fall over as the lighter ones I have used so far. And I got this on Amazon for 35 euros, so it's probably not cheap, but it's not as expensive as other brands. And in terms of quality, in terms of mechanics and all that stuff, it is very well built. It's not cheap, and even if you just touch it, if you just play around with it, you can feel that it is built very well. And due to all those possibilities, I think it's a lot bang for the buck, so to say, and it really fits what I was looking for. So I hope this is kind of helpful. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.